I am looking good and I am feeling fresh. Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. People, this is your show where we give you all the latest news and updates on all your topics related to LFC or football. People, if you enjoy this show, then smash a like, but only if you enjoy. And let's get into today's Redmond Roundup. Oh, and also subscribe if you haven't already as well, that's another thing I forgot. And one last thing before we get into our first topic, this video is sponsored by Le Bon. I'm absolutely buzzing that it is as well, because it means that I get another weekend of doing these little fun predictions. And let me tell you what it was last weekend, and let me tell you what Le Bon is. Let me know. Jump the curve, you know what I mean? Le Bon is an app where you can base, it's a betting app, but you can bet with your mates. That's the difference. If you're losing money, you're losing to your friends. And the way it works is you all put in a little bit of money. So for example, my group, there's 5 of us, we've all decided to put £10 in, and the way it works is Le Bon will take 10% of the overall earnings, but whoever gets the most predictions right, whoever gets the most points by the end of the weekend, they take home all the moolah. And it's a very fun thing, mate. Honestly, I'll tell you now, I really do recommend it for you and your friends. Don't get me wrong, T&C's applying, you've got to be over 18, but if that does apply to you, I really do recommend you go and download the Le Bon app. Top link in the description. Also, you have till tomorrow 12:30, so Saturday at 12:30, 15th of May, there we go, proper date, actually remembered it, to get your predictions in. So make sure you go and download that top link in the description. I'll tell you a few of my predictions before we continue with this video, as I'm sure there'll be a few of the neutrals who may be interested. So Burnley and Leeds, I've said 2-1 to Burnley. They've been in good form, could cause Leeds a little bit of a problem. Southampton and Fulham, even though Fulham are relegated and Southampton were in and around that race, I've gone with Fulham 1-0. Chelsea and Leicester, arguably the biggest game of the weekend, especially for a Liverpool fan. I've gone with 2-1 Chelsea, so that's kind of one of them. Brighton West Ham, 2-1 West Ham. Palace and Aston Villa, I've gone with 1-0 Aston Villa. Tottenham and Wolves, I've gone with 3-1 to Tottenham. And backing Mason Ryan and his boys. West Brom. Wait there, is it Mason Ryan or is it Ryan Mason? I can't remember. Anyway, West Bromwich Albion versus Liverpool, that's our game. Wait for the preview for that prediction. And then Everton and Sheffield. I've gone with an Everton 2-0 win, even though it would be glorious for the bottom team of the Premier League to take points off them. So go and download that, top link in the description. Anyway, let's get into today's video. So the first thing that I'd like to talk about is Sadio Mane. Now, if you don't know why I'm talking about Sadio Mane, it's not because of a good performance or anything like that. There's been a lot of talk around Sadio about the way he is, the way he's playing, why that could be. And I'll tell you now, right, on the pitch he doesn't look the same. You know, he looks like he sort of lost a yard of pace when it gets to one-on-one situations. We even saw it yesterday in the game when he was one-on-one with Dean Henderson. He just never put the ball anywhere. And here's the thing about Sadio Mane, I love him and that, and, you know, he is world class. And just a bit of bad form this season will not change that. But he is showing signs of that he is on the other side of that hill. Doesn't mean he's shit. He can still offer a lot to the squad. But a lot of people are putting it down to maybe, is it mentality? And a lot of people question this mentality for very, very good reason. And another good reason, besides the one-on-one miss with Dean Henderson, was given after the game. Bearing in mind, we beat them 4-2. And I understand that Mane might have a little bit of frustration that he never started the game. But I don't know if you saw the instant where Jurgen Klopp, obviously after the game, he goes and gives all of his players big fucking bear hugs, rubs on the edge, pat on the back. That's what Jurgen Klopp is. He's that type of manager. Anyway, he goes over to, I think it was McTominay, gives him a high five. McTominay was walking with Mane, and then when Jurgen Klopp goes to give Mane a sort of like a high five, Mane basically just says nah and keeps walking. Now, some would say he never saw it. I think it's one of them where, listen, Mane, you can see he's not himself. And there's been times where he's had them like sort of explosions before. Now, Klopp did make a good point because he was asked about this incident after the game. He replied to it and he basically said, if there's a player who does well for me and listens to me 5 million times but makes one mistake, what am I going to lean more towards? What am I going to listen to most? Just because he's made one mistake doesn't mean he's a bad person. And Jurgen Klopp is bang on there. We shouldn't just be jumping on this high horse. Oh, Sadio Mane's a knobhead. He's not listening to the boss because he's made one mistake. He's done a lot of good things for the club. And, you know, fucking last season, everyone was saying he's the nicest player in the Premier League. So let's just leave that there. But the one thing that I am still going to dispute, and the one thing I'm still going to bring up, and feel free to agree or disagree in the comments down below, but one thing I will say is I don't agree that Mane should make a scene in public like that. There was another point, I think it was either this season or was it last season when we played Burnley or something like that. Anyway, he got substituted off the pitch. I think it was Salah. Him and Salah had a little issue on the pitch. And he's there fuming while walking off in the middle of a substitution. I don't mind passion. I really, really don't. If you want to be angry, that's great, mate, because if you look back in the day, you know, we talk about all these modern day footballers are wusses and they don't want it bad enough in the day. You see Harry Maguire and John Stones after games shaking hands when it's a Manchester derby. Mane shows a lot of that ferocity, shows a lot of that passion, but I do believe sometimes there's a time and a place, man. And for you to just be throwing a hissy fit every once in a while, again, we shouldn't be questioning his attitudes. We can all have an off day, we can all be upset. I'm sure if you work somewhere, you might have had a little go at your boss once in a while. Maybe some of you never, because you're not that stupid. But Mane knows he's got the credit in the bank to where his opinion matters. It's not just he's a player and he's getting paid. He knows that if he can put his opinion in the hat, it can benefit the team. So I want to know what you think in the comments down below about this situation that did go on with Mane. I know a lot of people will be wondering what I think. And listen, I love Mane, but it is what it is. We need to make sure that he doesn't do anything like this again. And yeah. But one more question actually before I move on to the next topic, and it's about Mane. Diogo Jota played against Manchester United yesterday and was absolutely insane. And I'm not even just talking about all-round performance, but when you talk about someone who's going to get you goals, we haven't just got one goal scorer no more. It's not just Mo Salah. And I know, shout out to a man like Bobby Firmino as well. He's not losing his credit just a day after this game. Listen, that was boss, but we know he's more likely to go on to the next 3 games and not get a goal than more likely to go ahead and get a goal. Diogo Jota is the only other player in this team who's really got a bit of momentum behind him for this season. I think he's very good at coming off the bench, so that's why I'm interested to hear what you've got to say. But who do you start out of them two, Jota or Mane? I think Jota, he looks quicker, he looks more fiery, he just looks like just more clinical at the moment, and regardless of credit in the bank, you get into the starting 11 based on your performances, and I feel like that's just what we need to realise going forward. So now I want to talk about man like Nathaniel Van Phillips, the main man, the main sensation. In fact, I want to just put out a little, before I do carry on talking about Nat Phillips and his position at Liverpool and whatnot, I want to talk about actually just how good Nat Phillips has been. And if you're a neutral, and shout out to all the neutrals who watch this channel, because there's actually a lot of yous, and to be honest with you, I'm surprised at how many neutrals watch the channel and come into the watch along, so big up yourselves. But I want to actually just bring to your attention, for those who may not watch Liverpool all that often or as often as I do, Nathaniel Van Phillips is serious. He's actually, I don't know what it is, but I think the number one thing that goes for Nat Phillips, he genuinely loves defending. He loves it. It's one of them things where, we get horny in the morning over bacon butties. He gets horny in the morning over a header away from goal or a goal line clearance, which is what he got yesterday. He even got an assist. Shout out to him for both teams, to be fair. But anyway, still, mate, Nathaniel Van Phillips is just, and I always call him Nathaniel Deeney. Why? Because he's earned that right. He's made barely any mistakes. In fact, here's a shout for you. Joe Gomez, who played, 3-4 games this season for us, maybe 5 at most. I think he's made more mistakes than Nat Phillips this season, and he's played less games. And I'm not saying, listen, don't mistake me for saying Nat Phillips is better than Joe Gomez. Not the case. But I think we've realised, we've got a sort of hidden gem in our academy, and the reason why he hasn't been elevated to the first team is based on his ability. But we really do, and I say this all the time about players like Henderson and shit like that. Don't underestimate what it takes up here. If you can do it up here, there's no reason why you can't do it. I don't care if you've got 5-star skill moves, 95 pace, 99 dribbling. If you don't know how to use it, then at the end of the day, don't give 2 shiny shites, mate. Do you know what I mean? I care about if you score goals and you're effective. Well, actually, in that case, if you're a defender and you're making your challenges, Nat Phillips doesn't only make his challenges, he leads the line. Bearing in mind, he's how many different times has he had to play with a different centre-back partner? Fabinho, Reece Williams, I was about to say Ben Davies, but Ben Davies can't get a game to save his life. Kabak, Nat Phillips and Kabak are the longest partnership that we've had at the back this season. And I swear it was 6 or 7 games. I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about enough as well. We've got 5 centre-backs injured. Ben Davies, you can sort of talk about him how you want. Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip, and then Kabak. I don't care how you rate them. I don't care whether you say, oh, well, they're injury prone anyway. It doesn't matter. We've still got 5 injured centre-backs. We literally, like, I feel like people aren't talking about that enough because it's an excuse. And the reason why I'm mentioning it now after the win is because it makes more sense. Because then people can't call me salty. Because I'm not salty. Like, genuinely, when I bring up injuries, it's because it has a part to play. It has an impact, people. Whether you like it or you don't, it's not the sole reason. But I actually do think it's probably one of the bigger reasons to our downfall this year. And again, I'm saying this after the win, so it doesn't sound like I'm making excuses. I'm not trying to say that we wouldn't be... Like, I'm not saying we would have won the league if Van Dijk and Gomez was fit. Maybe we would have got third. Maybe we would have got second. Maybe we would have got fourth. I don't think we would have lost 6 games in a row at Anfield. I don't think we would have had as many poor spells as we did. If buts maybes, though, and that's the one thing I will give... But these injuries have been bad, man. And that's the only thing I want to bring up. And next season, I'm praying that this squad can just stay fit. Because a fully fit Liverpool squad, listen, it's not perfect, but it's really not bad. And it's much better than what we've had available this season. Obviously, Liverpool always have the odd injury. We had to play Milner for a full season at left back. We had to play Adrian for good portions of last season. We had to miss out on our star signing in Naby Keita last season. We had to miss out on Oxlade-Chamberlain, again, at the time in 17-18, a big star player who went out injured. This myth that Liverpool get no injuries to key players is actually a load of bollocks. We do get loads of injuries. We lost Mo Salah in the Champions League final. We get loads and loads of injuries. It's just not talked about as much as this season, because this season has been mad. You can speak to a 70-year-old, ask them about the Liverpool injury case, and they will say this. They will say to you, they've never seen anything like it in their lives. Because it's weird. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yeah. Anyway, before we wrap up this video, I always like to end it with a little bit of transfer news. I was about to say Konate. Ibrahim Konate, imagine that though. Ibrahim Konate, the main man from Leipzig. Basically, there's multiple rumours coming out, but the first one that I'm going to hit you with is Fabrizio Romano. Comes out, he speaks and he says Konate has a total agreement with LFC until June 2026. As announced last April, the board is working to complete the signing from Leipzig in the next week. So that's actually very interesting when you think about it. Plus, there are reports that Leipzig want to actually keep him. That's not from Fabrizio Romano. The one before that was from him. And listen, what am I going to lean more towards there? The other reports saying Leipzig want to sign him. I believe a little bit of both. I believe both Romano and these reports, based on the fact, if you're Leipzig, why wouldn't you want to keep... as if I forgot his name, Konate. Why wouldn't you want to keep Konate? He's one of your main centre-backs. Bear in mind, you're losing Upamecano. Also, you've got to take into consideration, he's a very good centre-back. Konate, he's 21 years of age. He's a part of the system of what has been a back five for the past few seasons. That can't be ignored. That's a big impact. And if you lose him, you're losing out on a very, very big player. So I can't... I believe that. I believe that they want to get him on a new contract. But the question you have to ask yourself is, will they? And I'm very confident Liverpool will get this deal over the line. And for those who don't know my stance on how I think whether or not this will be a good signing, in my opinion, and it's only mine, doesn't mean fuck all. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I think this is a good signing. I really, really do, for many, many reasons. I think, first off, the high line that we decide to constantly play, whether it's Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez or Nat Phillips and Fabinho with zero pace, we will always play that high line. What does Ibrahim Konate have? Pace, and pace for days. There's a good chance as well. I mean, Joe Gomez is lightning quick, but there's a good chance he could be the quickest centre-back at the club if he is to join. So that's always a good thing. You need a centre-back with pace. The one thing that does worry me is the injuries, of course. That's always something that's got to be a worrying factor. But we've signed players who don't have injury problems. Naby Keita, before he joined Liverpool, had zero injury problems. Since joining Liverpool, he hasn't stopped, mate. He's injured right now as we speak. And that was during a period that Klopp was trying to rest the fella. So I just think it's one of them where, take the hit. 35 million, 21 years of age. Absolutely, why not? I want that signing. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But people, that has been today's Redmond Roundup. Hopefully you enjoyed, and only if you enjoyed can you smash the like button. A reminder, if you want to go and download the LeBomb app with you and your friends, create a little group, make a few predictions, and also it gives meaning to what is now for many teams a meaningless season. Then click the top link in the description, go and download the LeBomb app. It is fantastic, people. Thank you very much for all the support you always show on this channel. I really do appreciate it. I love every single one of you, and me and my bowl cut is out. Peace!